Welcome everyone to the Real Whovians cast. I am your host, Matrix Lord 212, and I'm talking about Doctor Who. Probably didn't think I was going to be doing that today, but Doctor Who is always part of me, so I wanted to come on here and do my podcast. Um, Basically talking about this year, 2026. Now, we all know that the Christmas special is the next time there's going to be something with Doctor Who. Okay. Um, So we got the whole year without Doctor Who. But my thing is, why does it have to be that way? Why can't we have stuff throughout the year? Why do you have to spend a lot of money to do it? Remember how when Moffat used to do Doctor Who, and he was kind of worried about too much time between Doctor Who with delays and stuff like that. And what he did was he did little things like mini-sodes and stuff to put on to get people interested, right? Like little tie-ins and crossovers and little things like that to spread throughout the year. So that way you wouldn't be absent from Doctor Who. Why can't we have that? In a world that's been established with Russell T Davies, where you have the memory TARDIS, you have older doctors coming into play, picking up old companions, going on adventures. Not that any of it makes sense, but why can't we have that throughout the year without it directly affecting the current show? Why can't you do something and then explain it later? How? Because me, I like things to be explained, right? I am not one where I want them to do stuff and they have no plan and then they just tie it together and it doesn't look right, right? Me, yes, I'd love to see Peter Davison back as the Doctor and Colin Baker and Sylvester McCoy, but to me, the stuff with the Tales of the TARDIS, I need for it to make sense. Why are they there? Are they actually the Doctor? Are they the Doctor from another timeline? Is it our Doctor, but something's wrong with time, and now he's going off on adventures? Like, what's the story? What placement is he in? You know what I'm saying? So I did love that, we got to see something with Peter Davison for the box set with Tegan, and then Turlo showing up was interesting, but I don't like it that there's really no explanation why that's taking place. Like, I want an explanation. I want to know. Like, I want to know, did something happen currently that affected the timeline, and he's going off doing different things, but only to come back to sanctify the timeline. Like, I want to know why that's occurring. You know what I'm saying? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'm not against older doctors returning in mini-sodes or mini episodes or even an episode, but I want it to make sense rather than it not make sense. Okay? We all didn't like, most of us didn't like what happened in the reality war. The conclusion, with whatever happened. Now, you ask Russell T Davies, he says that Billie Piper's not the Doctor. You ask Billie Piper, she has no idea. Most of the people don't think she's the Doctor. Most of the people think that it's some type of transference or someone taking the Doctor's place while the Doctor is teleported some other place. I believe that's the case, but it has to make sense, right? And instead of like us getting more info on the Christmas special, right? We're being led into other different directions that, to me, is fine. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm all open to a Star Trek crossover, but that's something that would happen after. Why can't we have something to tease us with the Christmas special? Like, I don't know, anything. It could be a damn crumb, and we're not getting anything. And that's, and then Russell was in New York with Oliver Cole and Bad Wolf and everybody, and there was no real people talking about that. No one was really Like, why are they there? What are they doing? Because that wasn't a thing where it was just a pleasure trip. Obviously, there was some business going down. Quite possibly a new streaming service or something to do with Doctor Who. But they weren't just there for pleasure. I mean, if that was the case, Russell would have went just with Oliver Cole, not the whole entourage of Doctor Who, not the whole Bad Wolf group, not all that. So, like, I want them, like the BBC, to really invest in Doctor Who. I'm not liking what I'm seeing. The moment that there was a split away from Disney, the BBC should have started doing stuff with Doctor Who immediately. I mean, immediately, to show dominance, to show, all right, we got it back now to do, do what we got to do. But like, there's been nothing, and I understand there's no episode, but still, there's so many things you could do. And then there's stuff that's happening that makes absolutely no sense to what they're doing, and it's not even connected with them, yet it is. So we got Karen Gillan and Arthur Darvill wanting to do a podcast like The Ponds. Now, are they in character? Like, are they them, or is it just the actors calling it the Pondcast? The Pondcast. I mean, I don't know. I kind of wish that we would see the ponds and we would see River and all that stuff, but because I don't like the way things were resolved, and I don't see how the Doctor would leave things like that, like ever. He wouldn't leave them trapped in New York in the past. Like, he would find a ways around it. That, to me, that's unacceptable, But especially after, like, the 14th Doctor encountering, like, the Toymaker, and then the Toymaker knocking what happened to Amy Pond and Bill and Clara, you would think that the Doctor would get busy with a rescue of the Ponds or something, even if he's retired, like the 14th Doctor. I mean, and we don't even know what's going on with the 15th Doctor. Like, everybody's like, and that's another thing too, everybody's just assuming 16th Doctor, 15th, 16th Doctor, like that shoot he's done, right? Okay. But we need the regeneration to be complete. And the only way it can be complete is if obviously Shooty's a part of that. But I don't think it's complete. I think the energy was cut off. And again, the way Doctor Who is, who knows when it comes back besides Christmas? I mean, if they got to film episodes, I mean, what do you got, another year? So you're going to get Christmas and then you're not going to have anything for 2027? I don't like that at all. Like, I don't understand why we can't have. Like, why would it have to be spending money? Why a lot of money? Why can't we just have stuff on the BBC throughout the year connected to the Doctor Who universe? A Whoniverse, but it doesn't have to be epic money spent. Like, why can't we have that? You already established Unit in a spinoff. Why can't we have a Unit regular series? Why can't we see what Kate's going through with her mental sense of loss and breakdown and all that stuff? Like, why can't we see that? Only we had little bit crumbs about Kate Stewart's past in the Doctor Who episodes. But why can't we have that now? Why can't they show about our daughter or daughters, or why the daughters are not involved with Unit, or does she have any other children? Is there grandchildren? Like, what? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really want to know. Like, if we can't have an epic scale with its TARDIS and the Doctor and traveling, you could do stuff with Unit that's ground level. You could do stuff with the companions. A simple thing like you could connect the companions together because of a threat. It would be nice to see certain companions you haven't seen in years. Doesn't necessarily mean the Doctor's in it, But there's little things they could do. an appearance here or there or something that would get the audience more invested in Doctor Who, more interested in Doctor Who. You know, like I mean, you could pay a doctor to appear, right? And you could pay, like, say, Paul McGann to do something, or Peter Davison. Doesn't have to be like a big guest star. Doesn't have to be a big alien. Doesn't have to be big special effects. It could be mostly like banter. Like if you just had, like, the 14th Doctor and the Master, like maybe Sasha Dhawan's Master, and then he becomes John Sim again, but then it's just banter of them just insulting each other or just like talking until maybe, have a little special effects here or there for something. That would be interesting, like just to see, how the 14th Doctor would react being retired, but then the Master steps foot on his doorstep. Like, now this is his home. This is not, he lives here. This is not like that's like his home as much as the TARDIS now. He's got people he takes care of. Donald Noble's always visiting. So, like, I would want to see stuff, and it wouldn't hurt the show to throw something in there with David Tennant in there every now and then for 14th Doctor. No, I don't think so. So, I want that. The stuff that we're getting is not the stuff we should be getting. Like Doctor Who, like I don't see anything with Doctor Who connected to kids now. I don't see anything like an emotional thing with families. I don't see any of that. I don't know why. I'm kind of upset about that. We have some people talking about Doctor Who trying to get you interested like a family into it, but I don't see Doctor Who connecting to the family, to kids, to whatever. I mean, you're gonna wait till 2027 for the kids Doctor Who to be connected to kids? Like that's, like why isn't there something going on with Doctor Who? You mean to tell me there's no money for anything aside from a Christmas special? All these decades and decades they had money, now they don't have money? I don't know. I find it that I don't believe it. I think there's ways they can just do Doctor Who. And I don't think less is more. I don't like that. I don't like that Doctor Who's shrinking. Every year we're shrinking. We're less and less. There's always excuses. Oh, we need to have less. No, we don't need to have less episodes, because the more less episode we have, the bigger chance you're getting a clunker to where the season is a disaster completely because there's not enough episodes. So no, I don't want it shrinking repeatedly. I'm against that, like 100%. How is it we're getting less and less Doctor Who since 2005? Every year we get less. Not good. And you know what? So what? We don't have a streaming service. So what? Who cares? Do without them. But obviously that's not the case. Obviously they're trying to get a streaming service. Obviously they need money. But I just think that BBC could do better. I think they all should do better. And I know Russell's busy. But if he's busy, he should appoint something going on with Doctor Who where they have something out there. Something. Some type of connection tied to Doctor Who through companions or unit or whatever. And we're not getting that. And the community is starved for Doctor Who content to where we're getting content we don't need. We're getting drama we don't need. And then people now are battling others in the Whovian community, and now everybody's coming forward trying to make it like they know what the fuck happened with Disney Plus, and they don't. And we're getting all these fucking people with this bullshit going on. I mean, it's over. Move on. Move on. Talk about something else. I started to see some Whovians going off and doing something else, but then it's like a rubber band. They can't do something else for long. They're right back to Doctor Who, but they come back to Doctor Who in the wrong way, like attacking people and attacking groups and being like a reactionist, the detractor, all the stuff like screaming, yelling, bashing, pointing fingers. Don't point fingers. If you can't come up with something to talk about Doctor Who, don't attack people. So this is a very, very quick podcast I wanted to come out here and do. I have a lot of stuff going on today, and there really isn't time for me to do this, but I wanted to get one out there so that way you guys have something to enjoy talking about Doctor Who and stuff. Again, I'm open to past Doctors returning. I'm open to mini-sodes and different things, but it's got to make sense. It's got to make sense directly related to the show. Not where you can explain it later. I want it to make sense. So, all right, guys, I'm out of here very quickly. Take care. Bye for now.